Good evening. GB News has uncovered evidence of what appears to be brazen drug and alcohol misuse from inside the RAF Wethersfield Asylum Centre. This important interruption is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your money and your identity. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code here to get ExpressVPN right now and save up to 73% on annual plans today. Right, let's get back into it. And they appear to be bragging about it by posting videos on social media. One video was posted as recently as today, and it appears that they are openly smoking drugs in their rooms. Well, it also appears that they are going off-site to take drugs as well. This comes after a video emerged last week of asylum seekers having some sort of indoor rave at the RAF Wethersfield site, and now we can reveal that they appear to be taking the party outside too. Now, as many viewers and listeners will know, the illegal immigrants are also given free bus rides into local towns like Chelmsford, Colchester, Braintree, etc. But this clearly isn't good enough for some of them. Here's a video of what we believe shows one of their buses after they smashed it up. So there you go, it's on your screens right now, I'll talk you through it. I mean, look, you can see the windows are all smashed there, aren't they? Glass everywhere. I mean, these are the buses that are used to shuttle them all around different areas. They're allowed to come and go as they please. No problems at all. I mean, there are concerns, of course, about what these illegal migrants do once they've been dropped off in these towns and villages. And this is a video posted on social media by someone whose location on Snapchat was listed as the RAF Wethersfield base. So if we play that clip for you now, it would appear that they... Oh, okay, all right, well, I think that's the one. Yeah, if we play the one of them walking on the beach, yeah, there we go. I think that's that. So they've got women in bikinis there, kids, etc. I mean, it's all, I would argue this is quite weird stuff. So this is posted on the Snapchat story of someone whose location was at RAF Wethersfield, and they seem to be lingering a little bit, and you'll see it there. I mean, obviously we've blurred them out for obvious reasons, but they linger, the camera there, on women and young women in bikinis and in their swimsuits. Very odd, I think, a bit sinister, I would say. And today we were told that there is a new drop-off location for some of those buses that you see leave from RAF Wethersfield into Chelmsford. It's on East Hill Road. Now, the problem here, apart from arguably all of it, is that there's a nursery school there. You'll be able to see a preschool, actually, which would seem like a recipe for disaster, would it not, given some of the behaviour of these people that we've shown you before, to be dropped off somewhere near a preschool. Well, we approached the company in charge of managing that Wethersfield Asylum Centre. They have not got back to us. We also approached Essex Police about that rampant drug use on the site. Now, they said, well, they couldn't help us when it came to providing a comment. Now, I think most people would have thought that when provided with evidence of drug use somewhere, the police might want to go round and have a look. But apparently not. Now, there is a catalogue of bad behaviour from this site, which I've demonstrated over the course of the last few days. Allegations of criminal damage, allegations of sexual harassment, drug and alcohol misuse, apparent voyeurism as well. And now I would like to thank the group Stop the Wethersfield Buses for being good enough to provide me with all of those videos that you've seen today. But it shouldn't take locals to do their own investigations and then tip me off so that I can highlight it and we try to get this madness stopped. If it's happening at Wethersfield, I bet it's happening at every one of these sites. And we shouldn't have to live like this. Every time you're online, your money and your identity are at risk. Scams now make up nearly 40% of all crime in the UK. That's thousands of attacks every single day. In Britain, someone has their identity stolen every 2 minutes, leaving victims with wrecked finances and years of stress. The threat is real, and you could be next. ExpressVPN is your shield against criminals. It locks down your devices, hiding your personal information and financial details from hackers, scammers, and anyone else looking to exploit you. So whether you're checking your bank, shopping, or just browsing, ExpressVPN makes you invisible to prying eyes trying to steal your money and your identity. ExpressVPN shields your data with military-grade AES 256 encryption. That's the same standard trusted by the US government to guard classified information. This is the highest level of online security you can get. So don't wait for disaster. Secure up to 14 devices at once and get powerful password protection. Real support is available 24/7 because cybercrime never sleeps. Save up to 73% on annual plans today. Every moment you hesitate is another moment you're exposed. Protect your money and protect your identity. Get ExpressVPN right now. Just get the thoughts of my panel. Got Daily Express columnist Carol Malone. We're also going to be joined by trade unionist Andy Twelves and the former chairman of the Tory party, now Reform member, Sir Jake Berry. Carol, I mean, yeah, you've got videos posted as recently as today from people who appear to be inside that site just openly smoking drugs. I mean, what's going on, really? It's ridiculous.
Well, we know what's going on. This would not be allowed to happen in other countries in Europe because these people would be deported by now. In Germany, in Sweden, in Denmark, they're all now taking very stern action against people who are doing exactly what you've just highlighted, committing crimes, taking drugs. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we saying to them, if you break the law here, if you follow people, harass people, upset people, you're going to be chucked out. But we don't chuck anybody out. You know, if these people behave like this in their own countries, they would be jailed or even worse. And yet they come to soft-touch Britain and they know that nothing is going to happen to them. It's why they're coming here, because they know nothing's going to happen. Other European countries have got tougher now. And it's, you know, there is no consequences for any action. And I'm sick of being told that we can't deport people because the ECHR doesn't allow it. I'm sorry, the ECHR applies in Germany, in France, in Italy, and yet they are defying it and deporting people. And it's time we did the same because these people are wandering around outside this detention centre, drunk, drugged up, and causing havoc in the local community. God knows what offences. And we know that the offences they commit are being hidden by the cops and by the local authorities. Why? Because they are so bad.
Well, this is it. Now, I don't know if we might be able to play that clip of the individual who's walking down the beach again. So what was happening there was that when you post a story on Snapchat, I learnt today, you can search a location. Anyone can search a location, and you can see what people have been posting stories from there. And this was posted from inside RF Wethersfield. Now, we've obviously blurred out various different things here because no one, deserves to be identified. This individual did not blur anything. He lingers for a long time on a woman in a bikini who appears to be tending to some quite young children who, by the way, are also not really wearing any clothes. And by that multicoloured parasol there are two young ladies in swimwear. He's filming them and he's posting these videos. I think this is really, really sinister stuff. And it seems to be going on all the time here.
It begs the question, who on earth are we allowing to invade our country in this way? These doctors and engineers, as we were told by the government, all these boats full of doctors and engineers, it's clearly not true. These people are criminals. We know they're criminals, by the way, because they're entering this country illegally. So the minute they get on that boat and put a foot on British land, they are criminals. Why are they still here? Why are we paying to keep these drug takers, alcohol abusers, van-smashing individuals in the United Kingdom? Any government with a backbone would round them up and get them out of this country. And you can have all the humanitarian, bleeding heart arguments as you want. I do not want these people in Britain. They are not the right people for Britain. They are criminals and they shouldn't be allowed to stay in our country.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, we played a few clips there of some of the drug use that was taking place there, really brazenly filming it, but not trying to hide it at all. I don't know if we might be able to just bring another one of those up on screen. I'll put it to you, Andy. when it comes to the police, the local police, they obviously know there are huge issues at this site. Over the course of the last few days, you were on Friday, I think we did a piece on it, massive issues there when it came to alleged sexual harassment, when it came to, alleged criminal damage, all of this stuff. Now we've got, that guy's just made a bong, right? And he just appears to be inside. But there's loads of this stuff that's going around as well. Why don't the police just raid this place and check it for drugs and get rid of the drugs? And then if you're caught with drugs, I'm sorry, you're not getting an asylum.
Yeah, I think they probably should. To be honest, I think they shouldn't probably be allowed to go bussing around to towns. They definitely shouldn't be smashing up buses. I remember on Friday some damage in the actual RAF base. There's damage. Obviously, that shouldn't happen. I think on the drinking, to be honest, I do have bigger things to worry about than whether a couple of migrants have got some party cups. I think is that vodka? I think that's vodka there. I think that's probably fine.
It's also next to a load of cannabis.
But do you know what I mean? If they're having... I think there are much bigger issues for the Essex police to deal with than a spliff and a bit of alcohol. I think the criminal damage, the voyeurism, yeah, definitely. But I think a bit of vodka and a spliff, I do not think that's the end of the world.
And when they've taken drink, they then are allowed to roam free in the streets of whichever town they're closest.
I think they should be. They should be contained in a secure facility.
For young
I agree.
women.
Yeah.
We agree. They should be detained. And what will really stick in the craw, I think, of GB News viewers is the fact that they're getting up early in the morning, going to work, paying tax, for these people to be given that money to go out and splurge it on drugs, splurge it on alcohol, go out, they're being bussed to towns to take part allegedly in some criminal activity. One of the things you've uncovered on this brilliant report is stolen goods, people's identity, ID, driving licence, a woman's driving licence. So they are taking our money and using it to go out and commit crimes. How does that make you feel?
It's even worse as well, because a lot of them are absconding permanently from the detention centre and just disappearing. And I read in this report today that some of them have disappeared having been tested positive for scabies and tuberculosis, diseases that are under control in this country and which they will now be spreading. And this is just, it's beyond belief that we're allowing our country to... You just used the word invasion before. That's exactly what
I don't think it is an invasion.
But it is an invasion.
It's not an invasion.
What is it?
I don't think it's an invasion. I do not think it's an invasion.
In small communities where 400 young lads come in, that's an invasion.
Your man Nigel Farage says that we need to be careful with the words we use because they could, incite violence. I think we should keep that principle the same when we talk about migrants as we are Farage and his traitor pals.
In a small town near where this RAF station is, and there's 400 young lads drunk and drugged wandering around your town, you would say that.
I think living next to an RAF base, I would imagine that there are lots of RFM that are often drunk there.
Sorry. I do think, I do like you, mate. I'm very glad that you come on and you put your case forward. Don't get me wrong, but I think comparing brave RAF servicemen and women to drunken, drugged up, potentially sex criminals from...
everyone's a potential sex criminal, Patrick. The video you saw there, there was what was that a litre bottle between 8 or 9 of them.
Wait, there's loads.
That's fine.
Having a drink. Come on.
Criminality.
Come on.
So smashing up places, everything else.
I said that was wrong.
How long
was
are
wrong.
you willing to make excuses for people?
I'm saying we need to...
Does something bad have to happen, depressing as this is, to someone you know before you take this seriously? Because, it is happening to people you don't know. It is happening to people who live in this area. And the big thing that winds me up about all of this is that it's taking, after years and years and years of being told that everything's fine, that there's nothing going on, there's no evidence of criminality increasing in places around these migrant hotels or these migrant bases, it turns out that actually if you look for it, and you have to do a lot of digging and you have to work really hard to find it, and people have to take some serious risks in order to expose it, it is there, and we're just not being told about it.
But it's not there, Patrick. It's not just there. This is being injected to every community up and down England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. This is a problem everywhere. It's not, there's only a few RAF bases. It's houses and multiple occupations. It's the hotel. And to pick you up and say it's not language you would use to describe this as an invasion.
I wouldn't.
Well, in the last 3 years, more migrants have illegally entered the UK than British service personnel were sent over to D-Day to retake the whole of Western Europe. Okay. So what would you call that if it's not an invasion?
I wouldn't call it an invasion. I think the issue is, criminal damage to buses or to the RAF bases, voyeurism, sexual harassment. I would say those are genuine things that we can criticise, we can call out, and we should scrutinise. I think when you put those... as important as they are, next to them having a bit of a spliff and a drink in a base, I think you do delegitimise the argument. Genuinely, I do not think it's the same thing at all. It is really not that.
Drink. It's what they do when they've had both of those things.
I thought they wanted Sharia law. I thought this invasion was about Sharia law. Why are they drinking and smoking if it's about Sharia law?
I don't think anyone said it's about Sharia law.
I mean, often the argument is that they're coming here, they're invading, and they're going to give us Sharia law. Why are they drinking and smoking?
You just brought that in because you've lost.
Well, no, I don't think I have at all.
Well, we do already have Sharia courts.
I mean, we have lots of religious courts in this
United Kingdom.
How many other religious courts do we have in this United Kingdom? Tell us about the other religions that have courts.
You asked about Sharia courts.
I didn't.
The point is,
I said Sharia law courts.
If you had a government with a backbone, these people would not be here.
So
they should not be here when they arrive on this island.
The government of which you were a member.
Well, I disagree with them. I actually am one of the few Conservative MPs who voted for them to go further on the Rwanda policy. No one will be happier than me to see these individuals sent out of the country to Rwanda.
And it was the Labour
Party. It was the Labour Party.
It
was the Labour Party that reversed that. These people should not be in this country.
How many people are going to go to Rwanda?
Crimes in this country. He's right that they've been hidden from us for so long about migrants.
Correct.
And there's lots of information.
For so long. The Labour Party have been in power 18 months, and you're blaming the Labour Party.
Can I just finish? There's lots of stats have come out this year. For instance, 70% of Afghans are more likely to commit 70% of sexual crimes in this country. That has been hidden
What's your source
from
for
us
that?
Until now.
What's the source for that?
Office for Budget Responsibility.
Why would the Office of Budget Responsibility be talking about
I don't care
sex
why
crimes?
they have. They did.
Do you mean the ONS?
Do you think I'm lying?
Do you mean the ONS? I think you've got it wrong and you're quoting these statistics.
Office for Budget Responsibility.
I don't think the Office for Budget Responsibility would be talking about sex crimes, Carol.
All I will say about this is, look, it's good to have a robust debate, don't get me wrong, but I am genuinely very, very, very concerned about the kind of behaviour that we're seeing there, the fact that I think that is probably replicated pretty much everywhere you have one of these bases, and the fact that now that a lot of these people, by the time this footage gets to us, may well have been moved out to house in multiple occupancy, and they're just living in a place like Stoke or somewhere, and they're just plonked next to someone. And, you know, I feel it very personally and very deeply. I don't want anyone to have to suffer as this. Just because it hasn't happened to someone I know yet doesn't mean that I don't think it should be. It should all be stopped. But anyway, we went to the Home Office. They said while the minibus footage is 2 years old, it shows behaviour which is completely. Hang on a minute. So you're going like that about that. You know, they're now probably in an HMO. I mean, not all that.
I mean, 2 years ago.
So some of that footage was yesterday, right?
Which I think it would be useful if you put the dates on the footage.
Great.
To be fair.
Okay, so that footage now. So that person could be living next door to someone you care about. They've smashed up a minibus, drugged up out to their eyeballs, but you're okay with that?
Come on, I think it's unfair in your monologue to go after the Labour government when you're saying it's 2 years old.
No,
I mean, come on. In your monologue, you did criticise the Labour government, saying they've put these people in our communities, and it's 2 years old.
Well, they are.
I think every day of the week. I think you should date the footage. I think you should date the footage.
Loads of footage is today. I'm sorry, mate. One day something terrible is going to happen to someone you know.
I think you should date the footage.
You're going to realise that you should have cared.
You can't go on the big rhetoric against the Labour government when it's 2 years old.
Some of it's 2 years old. Some of it's.
It should be dated. It should be dated.
Do you think it's so? Okay. Do you think it's stopped happening now? Everything.
No, I think it's unfair to pair the rhetoric with the evidence when it was 2 years old. I think it's unfair.
Your government is in power now. Are they?
I mean, it's our government. It's the government.
Who are committing these?
They're deporting more people than ever before, Carol.
They're not.
They are. They are.
We're going to have to go. So there you go. So they say, look, we expect all perpetrators of criminal damage to face the full force of the law. This government has sent a clear message to those with no right to be here, with nearly 50,000 illegal migrants removed or deported since the election. We've approached Ready Homes and Essex Police for comment, and we are awaiting response. But yes, there we go.
Can we also just clarify that a lot of the people who've been deported wanted to go and were paid to go?
All right. Okay. Look, lots to come, including